The continued improvement in the quality of government expenditure at the union government side is continuing from 88 and 12% ratio between revenue and capital. We are now between 79 and 21. So in some sense, you can see here that the decomposition of the fiscal deficit shows that capital outlay has been consistently increasing. And this is the World Bank recently has a development update which is probably on its way, and they talk about the fact that India's public sector capital formation is actually crowding in the private sector capital formation. Now, ultimately, all these macroeconomic statistics have to result in the most important variable that the public is looking for, our Indian formal sector creating enough jobs. If you look at it, based on the returns filed by Indian factories, about 2 lakh of them, in the annual survey of industries, factories which are more than 100 workers, they constitute roughly about 21% of the total number of 2 lakh factories. But they constitute 80% of the workforce. Therefore, it is heartening to see that the workforce growth rate in these factories, which have more than 100 workers, is 13.2% in the last 4 years, compared to the growth rate of only 4.8% in relatively smaller factories. So on top of a larger base of workers in the aggregate, factories with more than 100 workers are actually seeing their workforce rise faster as well. And that is a very good sign of formalization of the Indian manufacturing sector. And this is from the ASI data, which is available until 21-22. This is as far as the current state of affairs goes. Coming back to what I said at the very beginning, we are facing a very challenging global environment combined with climate change narrative and the change, and therefore we need to make sure that we pursue all possible approaches without any doctrinaire orientation or ideological orientation. If anything, pragmatism has to be the policy mantra. And second, in terms of the kind of reforms that we need to do, it is no longer about the big-ticket reforms that dominate your front pages, but more about the grunt work. It's about the nuts and bolts of governance. It's about the plumbing of governance that we need to get right in order to be able to drive growth forward. And that is the theme of Chapter 5 of the Economic Survey. What are the ways, what are the sectors, and what are the ways in which we can ensure that growth continues at a pace by which we can have a fair shot at our aspiration of Viksit Bharat by 2047. It is about generating productive employment. We have a few ideas, addressing the skill gap challenge. And by the way, agriculture can be a very important engine of growth. And easing regulatory requirements and financial bottlenecks for MSMEs, managing the green transition in such a way that we don't jeopardize energy security in the name of energy transition. And becoming a manufacturing powerhouse also requires us to get the China balance right.